Damo, the game finished in Sydney last night. Now, back in a previous life, when I was a very, very junior burger at the 7 newsroom in Adelaide.
Oh, yeah.
And then
when you were a journo, weren't you? A C-grade journo.
No, I would never, ever claim to be.
You were a C-grade journo.
Is that the lowest rank?
But no, it's not actually.
Well, I was the lowest rank.
Or D then.
Imagine Jim being a junior.
He was a journo.
Waiting outside the injury clinic.
Graded journalist. Anyway, I used to have to go into the press conferences in Adelaide.
Yep.
So it was Graham Corns and Choco Williams.
Yes.
So I used to have to go in there and not ask any questions, just make sure the mic was... Well, Rooch was in there.
Oh,
Don't
cool.
worry, Rooch was in there.
Oh, yeah, he's
But you'd
everywhere.
walk in there and there'd be 20 people in there.
Yeah.
So that was how... And then, of course, when I did the boundary for 9 that first year, I used to have to go in there in that role as well and just stay right out of the way, but make sure I was at least across what had happened. So I'm watching last night. Magnificent win by Sydney.
Yep.
Great win.
So the game finishes. I don't want to laugh, but the game finishes purple.
Yeah.
And John Longmire, the winning coach, always goes first. So John Longmire walks in to do the press conference. There's one bloke in there.
Oh, no.
Art journalist.
He's a good journalist.
Oh, I'm not saying he
Vince
isn't.
Rugari was his name.
But
from the
He want
SMH.
to be.
Horse, the vision was on
Oh,
him
mate, just-
because we could see it before he started talking.
Yeah.
He's literally walked in and given it, is this it? One bloke.
What's happened to our craft?
You tell me. I'm
you're
asking
the
you
journo.
this.
Well, clearly there's been cutbacks on every level of media organisation, but to the point where Channel 7 very nearly didn't have a key part of its coverage last night, that being the post-match media conference, which has been a staple for the duration of the contract.
Absolutely.
And historically, all forms of live coverage of the main event, in America particularly, has been a key part of it, has been the post-match
So Bevo,
journo.
The same,
filthy.
Same for Bevo.
Oh, yeah. And filthy because they played poorly. I wouldn't have blamed him if he walked in and said, give me a spell.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Well, just
with one
walk
bloke.
out.
Just turn around and walk straight back out.
Or barrel,
Well, you probably
or barrel
could, and that's got nothing to do with Vince, who was there. I mean, and again, it's nothing to do with the journos who weren't there because they've got other requirements with deadlines at that point in time. It's just the way the industry's.
So is that where we're at?
It's where we're at. That's where we're at.
So do the Coaches Association turn around to the AFL
We're not
and say,
doing
listen,
it.
we're not doing this anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they probably will. But they need it as much as the media needs it. And that's why it's actually at a
If no
pretty
one's there,
critical juncture.
if no one's there, what's the point?
Supply and demand.
Well, the supporters want to hear it for starters. Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
It's economics.
What are we selling
It's
houses?
economics.
So one journo's only across one part of the media. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I agree. Why would you do it?
I know.
Surely there was more journos there that should have been at the actual...
Well, where was Tom Brown last night? Was he
Tom
in
Brown,
Melbourne?
Tom Brown was back here.
Yeah, and then, again, that's what's happened since COVID has started. And I don't know why he wasn't there. He normally would have been there, and he's normally compelling watching because he does ask the questions that need to be asked. But if he's not there, and obviously the Sydney market's a very different market anyway, and I mean, they're fortunate enough to have people like Vince Rugari who cover the sport for the SMH. And, yeah.
We had a side camera, Purple, in the room.
You kept showing
I don't know whether you saw it.
I did see it, and I was laughing when you were showing
Bernard, there were 20-odd chairs in there,
There
and
was
one
one
bloke
film.
sitting in the... It's like he'd gone to the wrong room.
How many questions did he ask?
Two.
Enough to put both coaches to air. I mean, again, they were good questions, and actually we'll hear from Luke Beveridge soon. He answered the questions, I think, really well, and it gives an indication where he sees the Bulldogs right now. But again, back to your point, Jim, I know you raise it as a half a lighthearted factor, but it's actually a very serious part of the game's coverage.
I guarantee you, Bevo would have done a U-turn if it was just you in there. Imagine if it was just you there waiting for him. Yeah, nah, not today.
Or
not today.
he might have gone the other way.
Yeah.
He might have just said, lock that door and turn all of them off and let's just spend a couple of minutes together.
That has happened once before, Jim. So, that did happen before once.
What would you do, Damo?
You come out.
Would you throw the first one?
No, it's not a strong suit, Bill, the physical side of life. No,
Keep those
when it comes to
glasses
the
on.
punch-ups.
Can't hit a bloke with glasses.
I can't see him. I can't see him.